Flight 454 has been canceled.
I'll be home for New Year's. Southwest, they canceled my flight.
Oh.
Hey, Happy New Year. The song parodies, of course, courtesy of Jim Gossett Comedy. Two S's, two T's. Jim Gossett Comedy, can find him on YouTube. And he always sends me these incredible song parodies for us to use with his compliments. So thank you so much for Jim for allowing us to do that. Happy almost New Year.
Yay!
Hey, I'm Mary Walter. If you have never seen us before, hi. This is Jim Rabick. Jim and I go way back. We did a show many, many moons ago together. He was my producer and kind of just became part of the show. And we just really like each other. So we get along really well. And he's a little crazy and has some life experiences that are always fun. And he's not quite as conservative as I am. So that sometimes makes for some interesting conversations as well. We appreciate it. If you would like the podcast, go check out some of the other podcasts on YouTube. And don't forget, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the audio will be available to download within 24 hours after the original airing. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer because my schedule this week has been just jammed. So I managed to get them up, but within 24 hours. Okay. And Tuesdays, if you're new, don't forget, we'll be on Life with Mary Walter, which is the original show that James and I did together, which was no politics. We talked about everything but politics, and we had a great time with it. So we have a lot of fun with that. And you're welcome to leave your comments. If you're on YouTube, please leave your comments, like Bill is here. Yay. Al is here. Yay. Let's see. Hey, Bill, can you try to sneak in first? You could try to sneak in first, but Mary knows I'm her biggest fan. Al's great. Al's been banned from Twitter. I don't know what the hell he did, but Al's been like permanently suspended from Twitter forever, under Elon Musk, which is hilarious. So I don't know what the hell Al did, but Al is over on Truth Social now, and he's there. Pete, he can only stay for a few minutes. Pete, I have to say, has really just been amazing. You guys are all great, and a huge shout out to you guys this first year of the podcast. Bill and Al and Ron and Pete, and I know John and Ed over on Getter, John over on Getter, Scott over on Getter. There's been quite a few of them who have just been amazing, and Pete sends me a lot of show prep. So Pete, yeah, he does. And I really appreciate Pete, and he knows that, hopefully. But thank you all, Ron, everybody. If I leave anybody out, I'm super sorry. Susan jumps in here a lot. Jerry jumps in here a lot. James A jumps in here a lot. So thank you to all of you this year. You've really helped, and keep trying to grow the audience, keep trying to grow the brand and grow the product. And you guys have helped do that. So we're forever grateful to you. Thank you. And Pete's been wonderful. Pete's been listening to both shows that I did today. He's been weighing in. So he is incredible, and I appreciate that. Al says, thanks, Pete. We have 5 people here waiting for Mary. Don't forget, you can always catch up later. Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Tina, another one. Thank you, Tina. I am one of the few crazies who has stuck with you for 12 years. Who knew I'd end up dating the producer? Let me just say something that a lot of us didn't see that coming, and oh, how frightening it is.
I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
I got to tell you, I didn't until you said, guess who I'm dating? And I was like, oh, well, I know.
Well, that's going to get her later going, I told you she knew. I knew it.
I did. Al, I'll be stoned for New Year's. Well, whatever. Listen, I'm not a huge New Year's fan, and we're going to talk about that. We're not going to do a lot of politics today, just because it's New Year's. It's the last show. Normally, I would have a bourbon here with me to toast, as like our New Year's show. But I'm running on about 4 hours sleep a night every night this week so far. So if I had a bourbon right now, I have 2 shows to prepare for tomorrow when I'm done here. Tomorrow, I will be in for Brian Kilmeade on Fox News Radio, 9 a.m. to noon. You can find it on iHeart, If you go to iHeart and TuneIn, just look for Fox News Radio. Don't search for Brian Kilmeade. You'll get the podcast. Search for Fox News Radio, and it will come up. And it's also locally on WABC in New York from 10 to noon. It's on a whole bunch of stations across the country. But if it doesn't air locally near you, you can do that. And then immediately following Brian, starting at noon, so I get off the air on Brian's show at 11:50, 58:50, and then I jump over to Rob Carson at noon, and I'm Rob Carson noon to 3, and that also is nationwide, and you can find that WCBM is his home station. So if you search for WCBM, I know they're on TuneIn, and also you can listen online on WCBM. So I've been doing that, and I was doing KTSA earlier this week, starting at 5 a.m. our time. So it's just been a little crazy. So we're not going to do too much. Not going to get too. Let's see. Happy Friday Eve. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love saying Happy Friday Eve. I know it drives some people crazy. I like it. Flashback to Romper Room. Magic Mirror, tell me today, have all my friends had fun at play? That kind of Romper Room?
That was impressive.
I guess.
I like that.
It is.
That's good.
What are me and Rachel chop liver? I said you too. Did I not say and Tina? I did.
Everybody's a little needy.
Over 300 subscribers. We're getting there. Woohoo!
Hey!
Yay!
Yeah, I'll take that.
With the help of all of you guys. So thank you for that. We really appreciate
like Rachel.
Look at
and Tina. Hey, Al, thanks.
Look at that. Tina, you got a shout out from Al, okay? And over on the Getter side, Ed says, not many people can make a jumpsuit hot, but Mary can. This is not a jumpsuit. This is actually, believe it or not, just a sweatshirt. I was too tired to put on like a nice shirt for the show. I was just and I was cold because I'm tired. So I just grabbed a sweatshirt. That's it. So, and truth be told, I'm not even wearing like a real bra under here. I didn't feel like putting it on. So I just have on a workout bra underneath. I just didn't feel like putting a real bra on. I'm so tired.
I don't want to get out. I remember those days. Yeah. Not the bra part. The not wanting days. Yeah. Bra part's totally different.
You've put on many a bra.
Many.
It's frightening. It's frightening.
Yeah.
When you were naming us, Romper Room. Oh, Allison, that's what I was doing. I got it. Ed has been with us since Passion Phones.
Wow.
I know that goes back to like dating myself, 90s and into 2000s. So, wow. And here's John. You made it. I made it, John. Still here.
It's like you ran one of those big, like Tough Mudders. Now you're like, I was like, oh.
Pete, this show may take a fun turn.
Yeah.
I hope it does. Tina, the things you learn on Mary Walter Radio. Yeah, the things you learned about Romper Room. I have to tell you, before we go, this show is it's gonna be all over the place. I'm just telling you right now because I'm having a problem focusing. Okay, so this is gonna be like ADD in this show. I have the best husband. So my husband's been off all week. And he's felt really badly for me because I'm just working so hard. I'm getting so little sleep, but I love it. I get to do radio, so I'm super happy about it. So as much as it's killing me because of the hours and the time and the shifting of the clock and everything, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. So today he said, he's cooking, he's doing all the cooking, and he's doing all the cleaning for dinner. He's just been wonderful. Countdown for turning the heat on.
Yeah, right. Maybe.
No, heat's still off in the house.
Right. Maybe on in January. Maybe not.
It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be almost 60 this weekend.
Right. It's 72 in our apartment. Our heat's not even on.
Wow. Yeah. Well, wow. That's because
we'll
you two are so hot because you're in love.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, I'll take that. Yeah.
So hubby's been wonderful, and Pete's leaving us. He says, "Good night, you all. You too, James."
Hey, buddy.
Bye, Pete. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So he said, because of the way I'm working 9 to 3 basically, and I do intermittent fasting, so I can't eat till noon. So he knew I would be really hungry when I got off the air. He brought me a protein bar, a mint one. It tastes like a Girl Scout cookie. And he melted it a little bit in the microwave for me when I was on the air, which was really nice. Do you know what we had for like our combination lunch dinner? We had it at like 4 o'clock. The best pork roll, egg and cheese sandwich. It was amazing.
Oh,
I kid you
love
not.
pork roll, egg and
It's
cheese.
like this thick. It comes from a place in, I guess it's Keyport. No, it's not Keyport. Keensburg, Aberdeen, Atlantic Heights, somewhere up there. It's up on Route 36. It's called Slater's Deli.
Oh,
It's amazing. It's like this. It's this thick. It's literally this thick. Maybe it's Leonardo, but it's up on the Bay Shore of New Jersey. You know,
yeah.
up on the Raritan
Yep.
Bay up there, and it's not that far for us. You know, it took him probably about half-hour round trip. That's how much he loves me.
Nice.
And you know what he made with it? Tater tots.
Oh my God,
It
that
was
is
amazing.
that is the best
He-
Brinner ever.
Isn't it, Brinner? Yes, it was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, and we split it. It's so thick. It's so thick. We wound up splitting it, and the cheese was melting out all over. It was phenomenal. So that's what
That
we
sounds
had.
delicious.
Missouri Ozark Vets is with us on Getter and says, America first. Yes. Again, I would toast you if I had my bourbon, but I can't do that. So here's the problem with pork roll, egg and cheese and tater tots. You have to drink a lot of water afterwards.
There could be a little salt thing happening there. Yeah, yeah.
So thirsty. I usually weigh myself on Fridays. I'm going to wonder how I gained 5 pounds. How did I gain 5 pounds since last week? It's all water retention.
My parents do Weight Watchers, and they're long into their goal weights and really well, and they love it. They're huge Weight Watchers fans. So they do these weigh-ins, and we were debating going out last night, and then Friday we have friends and family coming to their house, and we're going over there, and my mom's making Italian, all the Italian stuff, and that was the debate. Like, I guess we can't have pasta 2 days in a row because I got to weigh in this week coming up. They're like, nope,
See?
no pasta twice in the same week.
I think I'll weigh myself on Saturday instead of Friday and give all of the salt from the pork roll and the tater tots and the ketchup out of my system so that I can weigh myself on Saturday instead. So
last food note, I took your thing. I melted a protein bar.
yeah, you don't melt it. You just
15
a little
seconds.
bit. Just
Yep,
a little bit.
warm.
Yeah.
15 seconds. And it was 50% better.
Mhm.
I was like, oh God, this is so good. Why did I not do this before?
And it tastes like a dessert, but it's good. It's protein, so it depends on the bars that you. Which protein bars do you use?
I don't remember. One
'cause a
maybe
lot of
is the one I have. I have a few different ones, but I have like a one, I think, is the one I have in there.
Yeah, sometimes they're too much like candy.
Right.
John says at lunch last week, our topic of conversation was Slater's. Yes, on 36 East. That's it. Slater's Deli. That's right. That's where I got it from. John knows exactly what I'm talking about. The pork roll's insane. Pork roll sandwiches. And for those of you who are not from New Jersey and don't know what the heck we're talking about, Taylor's pork roll, which it was originally called Taylor's ham back in the 1800s. It's only made in New Jersey, and it is amazing. And people are like, oh, it's all processed food. It's really not. If you look at the ingredients, there's like 5 ingredients on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's pork and spices and pork butt and ham, whatever. It's not like scrapple. It's not like scrapple. It's not like gross stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Even I had fried scrapple once, and I was like, it's not that bad. I don't want it every day, but I was like, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Disgusting. No, you're not supposed to eat gray meat. It's foul. It stinks to high heaven when you cook it, not like a good kind of stink, not like a bacon stink. It's like what the hell is that stink? That's what scrapple is.
I had it after somebody like drowned it in butter, like cooked it in butter. And it was part of like a thing on rice. And it was hard, but whatever. I was like, it's not the worst thing, but I wouldn't eat it every day. Yeah.
When you have to disguise it that much, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you do not know the joy that is pork roll, I feel sorry for you. Ed says, that was my night back in the day in the police car with a pork roll, egg and cheese sandwich and passion phones. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I would love to get back and do that show again. I would love to do that, but nobody has any balls in the radio industry, so they're not going to do it. No,
Your entire show would be about, I don't know, What could you get away with? I was trying to think. I'm just trying to like, what topic from that show could you get away with without it being that a radio station would be comfortable with?
Oh, we could go back to doing. You tell us your
Lighten up, I
problem, we'll
guess.
solve it for you,
Yeah,
right?
touch
We
your
did a
problem,
lot of that,
solve
and
it.
it was
Yeah.
all relationship stuff. All
Right.
relationship stuff. People would write in with all their relationship problems, and we solved them. It was wonderful.
Well, we had a lot
Tina
of
says
fun.
Quest are good bars. The Quest
Yeah,
bars
Quest
are
we have,
good.
yep.
Can't have more than one a day, though. Can't have more than one a day.
I learned that pain.
Why?
Oh, my body rebelled real hard when I had 2. It did not.
You're
like
just but diet wise, it's not good.
Yeah.
All right, so I just wanted to go do a little bit of news, and then we're going to move on to New Year's stuff. Again, if you're just listening for the first time, this is not our normal Thursday night show. Usually, we delve into topics and news that a lot of stories that you haven't heard, stories that aren't getting a lot of attention. Sometimes we do talk about the really big stuff, obviously, but stories that haven't gotten a lot of attention. But because this is the show before New Year's, it's a little bit later, it's a little bit more fun. So this is not the normal Thursday night show that we do.
Yeah, we were going to tackle Ukraine on Russian.
I did that today. I did. I talked to the
I'm
guy
sure.
we talked to Dan Rice, who is the military advisor to the chief of staff of Ukraine.
Wow.
Interviewed him today.
He
thinks it was good, but he thinks, spending billions and billions and billions of dollars to fight this war, it's a great thing. And I'm like, I'm not so sure if I'm down with this.
He says
but,
great or thankful. Because great,
he thinks this is
thankful. Sure, I get that.
This is money well spent in Dan's eyes. So, I was a little, I don't know. So one of the stories I wanted to tell you, I do want to tell you, because this is like something that we would normally talk about on a Thursday night, is a story that is not getting a lot of play in the media, but really should be getting a lot of play in the media.
Okay.
Homeland Security, DHS, has failed to regularly report the disposition of criminal cases to the FBI background database that's used to vet firearms buyers. They want all these background checks and all this other stuff. The FBI isn't reporting criminals to the database. So what's the point?
So wait, Homeland's not reporting them, or FBI is not reporting them to Homeland?
DHS is not reporting to FBI.
I got it. Okay, I just want to make sure we're trying to
runs NICS. NICS is the system that you go through.
Yep. Yeah, right.
They're failing to do that. It's your job. How many times does government just fail to do their job and they still get paid,
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers how inept government can be, and we just like
whatever.
Yeah.
Missouri Ozarks over on Getter, Missouri Ozarks vet said, "On my 7th hour of you today, LOL." Oh my God, I can't stand me for 7 hours. But thank you. You're amazing. I love you. Thank you. 7 hours. Homeland's Office of Inspector General said the department's failure to consistently report data to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which is NICS, violated the law in some cases, but nothing's going to happen to them. No one will be held accountable. Oh, well, broke the law. Sorry, our bad. And left a major gap in a background check system designed to stop criminals from getting guns. If NICS examiners do not receive disposition data to deny or approve a firearm sale within 3 business days, licensed sellers may transfer firearms at their discretion. Therefore, DHS not sending disposition data to NICS and its delayed and insufficient responses to FBI inquiries create a risk of wrongful firearms transfers.
Makes sense.
Inspector General Joseph Kafari said the agency's compliance was so erratic that DHS ran afoul of the Fix NICS Act of 2018 by submitting at least 2 semi-annual certifications to the Justice Department that were wrong, that were inaccurate.
So they're not only
they did.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead. Say it.
My point exactly right. So they're not even they're not sending stuff. They're sending horribly inaccurate data, which shows you government ineptness, right? It's just how inept is government. Well, here's a classic example, right? They're not doing their jobs, and I'm sure the wrong people have gotten guns. I mean, How many mass shootings are there in this country? I mean, of course, some of the wrong people are getting guns. Clearly, not all of them are getting them that way. I mean, some just
that's
getting
the thing. The
There's some people
shootings,
getting away.
guns that are used in crimes.
Yeah.
I would probably say 99% of them are not legally owned firearms. The shootings in Chicago, those aren't legally owned firearms.
Right.
Most of the, you see these mass shootings, they're not, they stole them, they took them from the house, wasn't their gun, that type of thing.
Or that
They're not
crappy
legally
buying
owned.
system where the people buy them in the wrong place. They get them from somebody
Right,
who
they're
is
buying
good
it
to
from
get
some-
them because they're,
Exactly.
And I'm sure in some of those cases, some of those people could have been weeded out too. But
exactly. The report
Good job.
highlighted the department's inconsistent efforts to report criminal cases to the FBI's NICS as legally required, including 16 Coast Guard personnel who were discharged for bad behavior that would disqualify them from buying a gun, to immigration services failing in some occasions to flag illegal aliens in the country. Illegal migrants are barred from buying guns under federal law. At this point, does it even matter? They're allowed to do everything else. I mean, why stop them from buying guns? Half of them are probably bringing their own anyway across the border. So it's just ridiculous. James A., we should expect competency in the government, but that's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. They want us to sit down, shut up, and just pay their pensions. DHS components took more than 3 days to respond or were unresponsive to 126 of the 214 NICS inquiries. That's 59%. 59%. That's their screw up rate. You don't pass a test if you get it wrong for that much, right?
I was one shy having to retake a driver's test, and boy, that's a long story. We don't need it, but I was one shy, and it was because of like a dumb question, like how many mules can follow a truck on a Thursday. I was like, but these dumb-dumbs are just run around getting guns. By the way, no tickets. I have no speeding tickets. No drive that way. Yeah. Madness, right?
Right.
We're
So
subjected to all kind of crazy stuff, but yeah.
Exactly. You can't get a driver's license because of the dumb rules you don't know. But can I just say, people have gotten on a totally different note. People have forgot how to drive during COVID.
Oh, yeah. It's bad.
Right?
Yeah, I don't have road rage.
Holy
Thank God.
crap.
Yeah.
I do. I yell. I just yell. I don't give people if people flip me the bird or anything like that, I blow them a kiss just because I know it enrages them more. I've gotten to the point where I put a camera in my car so that when I am inevitably rammed by some idiot who is not paying attention, they miss a turn. They'll go from the right lane to the left lane across instead of just going down to the next street and turning around. Like, that's
Ring
not an
one
option.
eye.
If they're not sure where they're going, they just stop in the middle of the road to try to decide. I'm
So
like,
you just said exactly what just happened. Ringo and I were in the right lane or in the left lane, and we watched a lady in an SUV, do the dead stop on the highway. I saw it happen. And then as we're coming toward her, she just went like this, right across traffic. She stopped and made a left on a highway to get to an exit. I'm like, that's a woman that's going to kill somebody. Now, I don't say women, because I physically saw her. So it's not like I'm thinking of women.
It's unbelievable how much people just forgot how to drive during COVID. That's the only thing I can think of. Either that or they're putting something in the water, which wouldn't surprise me, and they're a disaster. Tina's, I'm the one who yells.
It's true. She has such bad road rage. And I'm like, you're in the passenger seat. Calm down. No.
If you're gonna drive for me, get in the back, Miss Daisy.
Exactly. I didn't. Just Daisy. Oh my God, she just gained a new nickname. Great. I didn't hate my radio job at all. I didn't. It's nothing like that. I certainly wasn't paid $1 million, but I didn't hate it. But but I drove an hour and 10 minutes every day, and the anxiety that's gone from not driving it an hour and 10 every day on the Atlantic City Expressway is just gone. I know. It was the worst. You've done some long drives for work. We all right, DC to New Jersey, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's bonkers when you're really, and anybody out there, if you're a trucker or you have a driving job, you know what we're talking about. When you drive a couple miles to work each day, you see a little bit of this, whatever. You don't really get true driving anxiety. You drive 45 minutes every day to work.
Yeah,
you see some stuff. every day.
God bless truckers. People cut them off. And they're driving a big rig that doesn't just stop on a dime.
Nope.
People just hard. That's why I have a camera now that I put up in my car if I'm driving it, a long distance, going to the shop. Right, I'm not putting in my car. Although I probably should because I can get creamed. People run red lights now. If I'm the first one in line at a red light, I wait a beat because I almost got creamed about 6 months ago. This guy, truck flying like 60 miles an hour in a 45, flying through an intersection red. I was partway out into the intersection. I was probably within feet of being killed. Just a boom, he barreled through and I didn't even see him coming. He just came flying so fast. It was like, holy crap. And he would have hit the driver's side and flipped the car and, everything else. It would have been horrible. So I always take a beat before I go into the intersection and I'm looking. I'm like, all right, who's the jackass? Who's coming? It's what I wait for.
Yeah.
Ed on Getter says regarding NICS and the lack of reporting to NICS. Right. He said, it doesn't matter. That system's only used for people who get firearms legally. It won't stop criminals. 100% true.
Oh, yeah.
And DHS is a useless cesspool anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Tina says this guy stopped in the middle of the highway, just sitting there at a red light, didn't even back up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things. I would like to move on, talk a little bit about New Year's since this is our last show before New Year and before New Year's, before 2023. And I have to tell you, I have some sad news.
Uh-oh.
What do you do on New Year's Eve?
Nowadays, not much.
Yeah.
Maybe see some family, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I was never a big New Year's kind of girl. I was never like, let's go out and do something for New Year's. That was never my jam. I was amateur night.
Yeah. I used to play drums a lot or gig a lot because I'm an audio guy. So I would do sound gigs a lot, but not much anymore. I like to stay home.
So I never did a lot, but we have a group of friends that we started doing New Year's with. And now one couple's in Georgia. The other couple moved up to North Jersey and they're doing their own thing. So we were going to go up to the Lake George with my husband's cousin. We did this last year and friends of ours from Virginia. We're all going to go up there and I ruined it all by working. So, dopey me and my need for money. But one of the things we love to do is I love CNN on New Year's Eve. It is one of the it's the one time a year I love CNN on New Year's Eve because Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper are hilarious. It used to be Kathy Griffin and she got booted off and that's good. It was her own fault. Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, one of my old colleagues on the last radio station I worked on always called him Manderson Pooper, and that always comes. I always want to call him that, and I have to stop myself and think of what his real name is. It's Anderson Cooper, not Manderson Pooper. That was absolutely freaking television gold last year. Television, hilarious. And you could if you watch the names going across the bottom of people who say hello, it's all like, hey, would you blow me? You know what I mean? Like it's like from The Simpsons going across the bottom says Merry, like it says Happy Year. It is a total and complete shit show, and it's hilarious. But because of what happened last year, Andy Cohen was out of control. They are now limiting alcohol consumption this year.
But out of control is what was so funny. It was so good.
It was so good. Listen, they have more viewers on New Year's Eve than they do any other time of the year. You have a good thing going. Let them go.
Well, CNN is like the government, obviously, right? I mean, they had a good thing going, and they're like, we better clamp down on this good thing. People really enjoyed it, so let's back that train up. We don't be too happy.
There was one year we were watching Fox, and it was Bill Hemmer and a bunch of the other ones, and I think they were so it was one year they were so cold their mouths just weren't working. Like, have you ever been so cold like you just can't talk? But I swear, and so this had to be because I was still working at Fox. This had to be back in like 2000s, like into like 2010s, somewhere in there. Right. I swear Hemmer was drunk. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
Ed says their drinking is restricted this year. CNN, no alcohol policy enforcement. No joke. I know. So the reason they did this, part of the reason they did this, is Andy Cohen insulted Ryan Seacrest while he was hosting ABC's coverage because they're all in, right in Times Square. So they're like they're all right next to each other. He said, "If you look behind me, you'll see Ryan Seacrest's group of losers performing." He was doing tequila shots with Anderson Cooper. "I'm sorry, but if you're watching ABC, you're watching nothing." And then he said he later regretted making the insult. And he said he likes Ryan Seacrest. It was an offhand comment about nothing that really had anything to do with him. And so Ryan Seacrest heard about this and he said, "I don't advocate drinking when one is on the air. I don't know how that started as a tradition, but it's probably a good idea to scale back, CNN. But I think they had something to say about my show at one point, which was, I'm sure, from the alcohol, because I don't think they would say what they said about our performers if they weren't drinking. But, I think our show's a bigger, broader show, and we will not drink until 1:05 in the morning. Although I might send them some Casa Dragones tequila just to tempt them while they're on the air." And I don't think he was making fun of Ryan Seacrest. He was joking. He was making fun of ABC, the competition. That's what he was doing. Oh, they've got a loser show. That's what he was doing.
And again, it's jokes, people. It's like with comedians.
Yes.
It's just jokes. It's New Year's. They're drinking. They're having fun. He's been on his show before. It's not like they don't know each other. I mean, come on. By the way, do you think if Ryan was really pissed or ABC had a real issue, he would have made a tequila joke? Like, he's just forwarding the fun.
You've got to admit, like I said, it is television gold.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tune in. I will absolutely tune in if I'm awake. And there's a significantly good chance that I will not be awake. But if I am, I'll record it and watch it Sunday morning. But if I'm awake, we'll watch it. And if it's boring, there you go. Watch, their viewership is going to go down.
Well, maybe I'll send him a tray of edibles. Maybe that'll get the party started, Maybe it might be a different show than last time, but
we're not drinking.
We're not drinking.
We're not drinking.
It might be like Cheech and Chong up there doing New Year's Eve, but hey, whatever, I'm in.
Or like Al, who says, "I'm just going to be stoned on New Year's."
Yeah.
Goes. So I want to know your highs and lows from 2022. Just leave the comments. I will put them up on the screen. For those of you who are listening to the audio, I'll read the comments. Getter comments don't come onto YouTube. So I always read those, but I will try to read as many of the comments that people leave on YouTube as well. So if you are listening to the stream, you can hear what people have to say. Ed says, "If I ran CNN, I'd have every personality drink on every show all year." A drunk Brian Stelter could have been a funny Brian Stelter.
I think I'd rather hear politics from anybody drunk.
Well, there was a show on the History Channel, Drunk History.
I think that's my inspiration, right? Those people talking about history is why I'm like, man, if I got to hear news about politics, I'd rather hear from some guy kind of stumbling through it. That'd be great. It'd be so much more fun.
I was going to say, well, we could do this show drunk, but I just go to sleep. I'm not a fun drunk. I don't like to get drunk. I don't, those days are over. Like when I was a kid, you got drunk, you drank too much. And I could handle the hangover the next day. But even then I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling sick the next day. I don't like that feeling of, I don't like it. So, so I don't get drunk very often. And if I drink too much, I just fall asleep. I'm like, okay, I have to go to bed now. That's it.
Yeah.
And I go to bed. Yeah. So I'm not fun.
I like the line at buzz and then I'm out. And I don't drink that much anyway. But when I'm there, like I want to find that little bit of a buzz, and then I'm done. Probably should have had that shot buzz and then I'm out. Yeah, and I'm done. Once you're past that, it's all over.
Oh, it's all over. Yeah, I always do one bottle. Like if I'm out drinking, I have some water first, then I have a drink, then I have water, then I have a drink. I don't understand people who just pound it, and I just can't do it. It makes my liver hurt watching them do that.
My parents.
So go ahead.
I was saying my parents just heard the story about when because I don't have very many stories, especially like after 21 of me like excessively drinking. But one of them, not the whole story, it just ended with me sleeping on my sidewalk of my apartment on 2nd Street. I lived in the corner
In Philadelphia.
in Philadelphia, at the corner of League and 2nd, which is really 2nd and Washington Ave, right at the beginning of South Philly. And I woke up the next morning up against the sidewalk, like this thing, use the pillow against the wall, sprawled out on the sidewalk. And that's how I opened my eyes and went, why am I looking at Snockies? That's the restaurant right next to us. It's a famous fish place. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I remind me to tell you the story about the time I slept outside on a sidewalk.
Yeah, good times, right? Yeah, I know.
No. It wasn't because I was drunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a totally different. Yeah, we'll get there someday.
Next on Life with Mary Walter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll tell that story on Tuesday. Can we remember to do that?
Oh, stories about you? Right
okay,
here.
You'll remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So but it was not because I was drunk. So it was a totally different story. Tina says the highs for her for 2022: finding me a new me with James, finding James and moving. Low of the year was definitely losing my grandma and my aunt. Aw. Yeah. Yeah, she loves you. I'm trying to think of what my highs and my lows were this past year. I think one of I can't even say like my low was breaking my leg because it really wasn't that traumatic. I guess you know what my high was last year when I broke my leg, and the ski patrol and my husband and my orthopedic surgeon and everybody around me was preparing me for the fact that you're going to need surgery, and this is going to be months, and this is going to go into the summer, and this is terrible, and preparing me for that. And then it was like, wow, you miraculously escaped. How did you do that? And it was just broken. So I think that was kind of my high in that sense, because I'm so grateful and I was so blessed with that, because by every law of gravity, physics, medicine, I should have ripped the crap out of my ACL and my LCL and all my ligaments and should have needed a lot of surgery for it. And I escaped. So I would say that that was my high. My low, I did lose. I lost a couple of friends this year, which is sad. My husband lost a friend. I lost a friend, but it happens. That's life, so that was low. But I have to tell you, I was heartbroken when Jay Wright left Villanova. Is that shallow? Is that really shallow? But Jay Wright leaving my beloved Wildcats was a low for me this year. I was crushed.
Yeah.
We flew the Villanova flag upside down at half mast. I kid you not. I have a picture of the American flag, and below it is the Villanova flag at half mast upside down.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, well, then that was definitely a low. When you're hanging flags, yeah it's a low.
Yeah, that was definitely my low. Let's see. My friend John says nobody pounds drinks at Boyle's. Yeah, that's our local bar. And it's only open from 4 to 7, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's it. So you have like 2 drinks at Boyle's and you're out. So that's it. And that's why it's only open those hours, because Joe and Mary, who own Boyle's, don't want to have to deal with drunk people. So that's why.
Okay.
So, okay, high and low for you.
Well, I think Ringo hit on something. Definitely a new relationship is really nice. After being divorced for 6 years and thinking I'm never going to date. It walked in. What are you gonna do? That's how it works. I'm actually pretty happy. I've changed my life. That I am trying to do something different, and trying to be in a different place.
Good.
Lows. I mean, friends is definitely one. We've both lost some friends this year. That's definitely a tough one. I don't know. I don't want to say there's a low also to reinventing yourself, but there's definitely a imposter syndrome, when you have to start something new. So I guess there's that. It's a mixed bag that way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Ed says the high for him was the return of Life with Mary Walter. Thank you. Because it's kind of like the original show that I started out doing on a radio. It's right. Like that Tuesday, 7:15 here on YouTube and Getter. And the low, Joe Biden. Yeah.
That's not this year, but yeah, it's always a low, I guess.
Well, he's still president. So, although if he weren't president, we'd have Kamala Harris. So,
I don't know. Is that worse at this point?
Oh yeah.
She speaks English. I mean, she speaks like she's talking to a 5-year-old, but she does put a simple, coherent sentence together.
So okay, so
Russia bad, Europe good. See, she said it whole, right?
and she gets a word and she repeats that word 10 times in one like paragraph, like a couple sentences. She latches onto it. There was a show on years and years and years ago, and two of the main characters, the two guys, would do this thing, and they did it. They were high school friends, and they did it all through high school, and they took it into adulthood, and they would bet each other at $5 or $10, whatever it was, and you can never turn it down. You couldn't turn down the bet, right? So if you did it, you got so this $10 would just go back and forth between the two of them. And they would give you a word. The guy would give you a word that you had to use in whatever conversation you were having or going to have with somebody who's like, he's all right, I'm going to break up with so-and-so, or I'm going to go ask her to, and he'd go, okay, $10. Like, oh, and you have to use some ridiculous word when you were doing this, right? Yeah. That's Kamala Harris. It's like someone gave her the word, capitulate, and right. So she will use it. Well, when we're capitulating, capitulation can be good, but it doesn't always mean that capitulation means that and she just uses it 10 times in 4 sentences, and that's what it reminds me of. Could you imagine if she were the president?
Well, they would be some inspirational speeches during downtimes, wouldn't they?
That is very true. What do you want to leave behind in 2022?
Bad luck. No, it doesn't count.
No, it does. You see, here's the thing. Bad luck. I have terrible luck. I have like the worst luck. My grandfather used to say to me, Mary Eileen, if it weren't for bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all. I mean, I was a kid and he would say that to me. Right. I think there are some people who, for whatever, like Joe Biden. Joe Biden has incredible luck. He is a phenomenally lucky guy. He's never been out of politics, right? Yet he's a gazillion. He's like a multimillionaire. Somehow he did that just working in politics. He's still president. How the hell has that happened? First of all, he won. How was he president? He got the nomination. How did that happen? I mean, he's like that guy that's in the right place at the right time. I have a brother like that. Mm-hmm. I have a brother like that. I wish just to say, I could be walking down a sidewalk and on a street, and on the street is a pile of horse crap. And I walk on the sidewalk past it. I get to the other side and I didn't walk in it, but I will be covered in it. My brother could not be paying attention, walk straight through the pile of horse crap and come out the other side smelling like a rose. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, I have a friend who plays lottery tickets. Yeah, I just went in and he goes, I just bought a scratch off. I won $75,000. Honest to God, true story. Won 75 grand. And he goes to the casino and he wins and that kind of thing. I get online because I don't buy a lot of lottery tickets, but I do it for fun. You know, I have a budget. I don't spend more than my budget. You know, that's it. And I'll go online before I buy a lot. And I buy scratch offs because if I buy like the Mega Millions or the Powerball, I can buy 10 of those tickets and get no numbers. Like not one that matches.
Right. Yeah. Me
not even close. Right. So I'm like, all right, this ain't working for me. So I started to do scratch offs. It's a less money, but I'd rather win $100 than nothing. Right. So I'll go online and I check, and you could check and see how many tickets were printed, how many of the big numbers were already won, how many big number tickets were left, what are the odds, you know, the whole bit. And I write down what I'm going to buy and I go to the store and that's what I buy. And I will tell you, I will buy those for like 3 weeks in a row, where technically by the odds, I should win something. Nothing. I won't have nothing. I don't get a free ticket. I win nothing. It's a phenomenal. It's just unbelievable. I defy the law of physics. I mean, what was it? Statistics. Yeah. It's unreal. I just have no luck at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I get a little of that. I think more than luck, though. I think the real thing because I think you do generate some of your own bad luck. There's a little of that. Not you in particular. I'm saying in general, I think we manifest some bad luck in our lives. And for me, I think I do that from my LPS. I'd like to leave laziness, and I said it's on Tuesday.
Procrastination, stupidity.
Yeah, laziness, procrastination, stupidity. Yeah, I think if I could learn to leave that part of my life behind, I would not have such bad luck.
But then it's not luck. It's just that you are being more responsible and doing what you're supposed to do. That's not luck.
Yeah, but don't you think some of those people who are really lucky, I find, though, are just good about being at the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? They're really lucky, but somehow they have a knack for doing that. You know, there'll be
Yeah.
that person too. Like, how many times I've been like, man, if I had just played those numbers, those were the numbers I was going to get the win. Or if I had just sold this when I thought to sell it, I'd have gotten twice the price. You know, like that.
Right.
Feel that luck in your life too. You know,
Yeah.
you miss good luck sometimes by being lazy and dumb.
I think there's also you do manifest it somewhat in the sense of like I know when I buy a lottery ticket, when I go to scratch it off because like I wait, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna scratch it today. I'm gonna scratch off my ticket today, and I know scratching it off deep down inside, I know I don't have a matching number here at all. I know that, and sure enough, I don't have a matching number, and I can't think about it any other way because it just keeps being reinforced by nothing matches nothing. This is
Right.
nothing.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's maddening because I'll get the number above and the number below. I'll get if I see 24 and 26 on my scratch off, I'm like, I know 25's up there somewhere. That's one of the numbers I'm supposed to match.
Yepper. I get that one.
Oh
Ugh,
God. All right.
Lord.
This is highs and lows. What do you want to leave behind? I wouldn't mind leaving behind bad luck. I think that would be one, excuse me, that would make me happy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind leaving behind all of the I wouldn't like that. I have a very hectic life and a lot of stuff doesn't get done that I want to get done. And I have all these high hopes. Oh, we're going to do this. Like we've been stripping the wood in the old dining room in this house for since March of 2020, March of 2020, when I first came
Wow.
home after COVID. It's a hard job, and I just so many other things. I'm going to do it today, and then this happens, that happens. You know, like stupid things like Verizon. I have ISDN. I think I'm like the last person in the world to have ISDN still in the house. And I
Yeah.
was doing a show earlier this week, and the station we're using Comrex, which is run for those of you who don't know, Comrex is it's how you do the show remotely
Mhm.
over the internet using the internet. But ISDN is dedicated line. It's a dedicated copper line that you have that they call you on. They use a telephone, and it's a really secure line. It's a good line, and it's not the internet, right? So
Right.
you don't see the rates going up and down. It's clearer, it's better. But nobody uses it anymore because it costs money because the station has to call you to do the show and they get charged for every minute. So it's a much more expensive way of doing it. So most radio stations don't do it, but the station I was doing on twice during the show, everything went down. Their satellite went down, and their computers went down, everything
Oh,
went down. Comrex went down because their internet went down, everything went down. So I texted them. I'm like, dial my ISDN. Here's my number. We could do this. And they're like, you still have ISDN? I'm like, yes. And they still have ISDN. They went to call me. My ISDN says inactive. I'm like, what do you mean inactive? And I haven't used it, so I have no idea how long it's been inactive because I pay for it every month. You pay $50 a month for the service. The wire is literally hanging at the pole. It's just hanging, blowing in the wind, right? So God knows how long. But my husband spent 2 hours on the phone with Verizon today because they sent us a thing closing out the ticket going, okay, we see your problem's been resolved. Hope you're happy. Thank you for using Verizon. I'm like, no, you didn't resolve anything. You said it's broken. And the
yeah.
copper is degraded and you have to dig under the Shrewsbury River to fix it. and, and and how was this resolved? And
Yeah.
he had to go through the whole thing, and he's like, we're not paying for a service we don't have. Like, why you can't, you have to stop charging us. 2 hours. So I want to get things done, but this is what I want to leave. I want to leave behind the amount of time that I waste dealing with nonsense. That's what I want to get rid of in 22.
I would like to add, just now that we're into the story here, did they figure out how long they've been charging you for an ISDN
No.
line that wasn't
Oh,
working?
they're not going to tell me.
No, I
They're
get
not going to
that.
tell me. You have to report it, and then the clock starts. So they're crediting us for, even though we just reported, they're crediting us for, I think he got 2 months out of them.
Okay.
So they're going to credit us for 2 months, and then they're going to stop charging us going forward. And we have to just wait and see what they're going to do. It's ridiculous.
Well, I heard they're not servicing ISDN lines anymore. I've heard that. That was our big talk in the radio world when I was in.
No, it's not that they're not installing. I have the one guy in Verizon who works on ISDNs gave me his cell phone number.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't say installing. I heard servicing. Like we heard they don't bring people out to even deal with ISDN lines anymore. They do what they did to you. Maybe credit you, and then we'll stop billing you. But I've
Oh,
heard they're not servicing the lines.
no, the guy came out. He came out, knew exactly what ISDN is, knew
Good.
exactly how to
Yeah, that's
check
cool.
it, how to do the thing. So they still have guys. Um, but it's not us, the cable, it's a problem that they're having. It's their problem with the line.
Yeah.
Apparently copper degrades when you're near the ocean.
What?
Who knew?
Oxidation, you mean? That's
Get
crazy. I
out!
wonder why things would rust near the ocean. That's so
Does that happen?
Yeah, you mean like our brake lines and everything else that gets all crazy down there?
You have the exhaust system on the car had to be replaced. It's bad. It's really bad. You wash the car, you leave it outside for a week, and you just can't see out the window anymore because it's all salt. Tina says, I'd like to leave behind bad feelings and let things go. A lot of stuff would be healed if I didn't hold on to bad feelings. Yeah, learning to let go is hard. It's a hard thing. James A says, speaking of scratchers, the lottery tickets, wife took my truck once, happened to have a $250 scratcher in it. She cashed it and bought her and the kids some stuff. What did I get? A 12-pack of Stella and a cheesecake.
That sounds like a win. I'll take a 12-pack of Stella and a cheesecake. You know they're going to steal your money anyway. I mean, at least you got some beer and cheesecake. I mean, that's great.
Hey, more than I've ever won on a scratcher. I've won, well, that's not true. So far, I have won a total of $23 and a free ticket, a free $5 ticket. So there you go. That's what I've won so far in scratchers.
Very nice.
Yes. Ron says, totally want to leave all that pronoun insanity behind, but good luck with that. No, you know what? I just refuse. You cannot compel speech with me. You can't. I just can't.
It's not going anywhere.
I know speech. I know someone who has a child who, and we're friends, distant acquaintances, let's put it that way, acquaintances, has a child who has become transgender, started in high school. We kind of got the vibe it was happening. I'm like, something going on there, right? And I thought maybe that this child was gay, and fine, and I don't care, which is fine with me. Whatever. But I think there's a lot of trouble. I think a lot of this stuff is because kids are lost. They don't have direction. This kid now, a young adult, having a lot of trouble finding their niche in life, doesn't have a job, tried college, that didn't work, tried a bunch of things. This person has decided that they're transgender and has changed their name at least 4 times. This is my new name. And I'm like, you're searching. I feel bad because I think that they're struggling. And I just avoid it because I really refuse to take place in this play. Like we're pretending like you're cosplay. Like it's almost like to me like cosplay for some people. Like these guys who are like, so I'm a girl now and I'm having my first period. And I'm like, I am not pretending that this is happening. This is no, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is real. No, I cannot pretend that this is normal because what is happening right now in front of me is not normal. If you're an adult and you've lived life and you decide that I want to be a boy or I want to be a girl and you go get therapy and you deal with it and you find out the reasons why you're doing it and you do it properly through medical treatments and I'm okay with it. But this, like one day that you could just come downstairs in a skirt and tell everybody you're a girl and you're like this weird stereotypical over exaggerated version of what you think a girl is. No. I'm not going to pretend that it's real. So I don't do that. So good luck with that, Ron. But I just don't play into it. I can't. Ed says, don't feel bad, Mary. I couldn't win a race if I was the only one running.
Nice.
Nice. Here you go, Ron. James A says, knock, knock. Who's there? There. T-H-E-R-E, T-H-E-A-R, T-H-E-Y-R-E. Oh, God. Oh, look at the time already. Al has not jumped in to tell us that we're running behind. So what do you wish for in the new year? What is the one thing we talked about? What do you want to leave behind? What are you looking forward to? What are you hoping for in the new year?
I'm keeping it simple. It's part of my new thing. Happy relationship, some success. They'd be really nice things. Maybe keep the world peace to the other people, but yeah, I'll keep it simple.
Yeah, saving the whales.
Yeah. I love the whales and I love all that, but I don't feel like I have the ability to save whales. But I might be able to make a better relationship than my last one, and I might be able to be more successful than I was in radio. So
Yeah. I'm at that point in my life where I just, like I said, I want to leave the insanity behind, the hecticness behind. I want to be able to take a breath and just like weed out a lot of the stuff that's making me feel overwhelmed.
yeah,
Like a lot of it's physical stuff, but there's, I noticed if you watch Sebastian Maniscalco's latest Netflix special, have you seen it?
I have. Yeah, it's so funny.
Okay, so he goes, he's 49 years old and he says, I'm at that place in my life where I don't need new friends, so thanks
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he's like, actually, I'm downsizing. I'm cleaning out. I'm kind of at that point in my life where I'm
Yeah.
I'm done making everybody happy. I'm not. I was always the one who did all the scheduling. Like everybody's like, "Oh, we need to get together. We need to get together." Nobody would do it, and I would just be like, "Fine," and would just do it. I'm not doing it anymore. Like I'm not. I'm just. I'm punching out a little bit,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. It isn't even a joke. I remember I had to do a podcast at a fish show this summer
Hmm.
and didn't call the 20 friends I have that normally are like at every fish show and that sort of get together. Not necessarily because I'm the only one who plans it. I just sometimes you hit a point where you're just like, man, I'm just trying to keep things simple. Man, I just came to do my job and I didn't need the drama. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like there's a whole thing that goes with old friends and things. It's not they're bad people, but like I've been slowly getting in a new place. So I was just trying to not be a maniac. And it was nice to not be a
Yeah.
maniac. You're like go to a thing I love, but just go and like kind of do my job there and not the drama. And I don't mean drama, you know what I mean?
Right, but all the
Yeah,
extras. The
yeah, the
extras.
past life, the craziness, the madness, the fun. And I like all that stuff, but man, at 49, I really just wanted to do my job and go home.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I don't know. I'm not pleasing anymore. I'm not pleasing people anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
you want to,
oh well,
but you
you
also
don't
want to be
like me.
simpler.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I
part
want
of
to
being
make it
simpler.
simpler.
It's a
Yeah.
big thing to have to put that face on every day, that face of like, I love everything. You're all great people. As you know, being a radio producer, that's part of your job. I
Right.
mean, when they asked me, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but people ask me, like, why does everybody think you're such a good radio producer when I was in radio? It certainly isn't because I occasionally don't forget to turn something on or I misdo something or any of that stuff. I think it's just I was nice to every host and helped them any way I could. I certainly did my fair share of messing up, but that's a hard job as a producer to tell people you don't like every day to be like their best friend and to make sure their show goes well and to make sure they're
Right.
taken care of, even when you don't like them.
I mean,
Plenty of people I
you
did.
used to bring me you used to fan me, scratch my
Mhm.
back for me.
Yeah.
You did all sorts of things. You made me croissants. You bring in like a
Mhm.
lovely cup of coffee. I mean, you were wonderful. I didn't know you did that as a producer.
Yeah.
Al is working, so that's why Al is not being well. Al, I know you're listening in the background, and I wish Al good health in the new year. Al's had some
Yeah.
struggles, and I hope
Absolutely,
that's
buddy.
something he gets. Listen to what Ed says. Ed says in the new year, I want to see Craig Carton pick a fight with the wrong guy and get knocked the F out. And I read that. He saw me look over. He goes, I saw you smile at that, Mary.
Nice.
Yeah, he's not a nice person. I don't wish physical harm on anybody. I don't. But I would like to. I cheered when Karma did its thing the first time. I would really love to see him really get what he deserves. Let's just put it that way.
That's a nice way
And
of saying.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, sure.
He's not a nice person.
Yeah. I mean, I always say I wish a nuclear bomb would just drop on Washington so we could start over, but I don't really mean a nuclear bomb. I just mean maybe if they all drowned. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, how about this? I want term limits in the new year.
Hey, I like that one.
Would that not solve a ton of
Big time.
problems? It really would. Yeah. All right, people. I think we're out of here. I think we're done. And I didn't mean, again, if you're new to listening to this and joining us, thank you so much for doing so. This is not a typical Thursday night podcast. We do have fun though, and a lot of times we do go off on tangents, and you guys are a part of that. And I do blame you for some of that because you make these comments, but it's great, and that's why I love that it's a little bit interactive. Listen, down the road, listen, we get to that point, I would love to be able to take phone calls. I would love to be able to do all that stuff. So tomorrow, from 9 to noon, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, I'll be in for Brian Kilmeade on Fox News Radio. If you are in the New York City area, it's 10 a.m. to noon on WABC. But it does air across the nation. It is syndicated. So if it doesn't air near you, you can go to iHeart. I think iHeart, and you can check out iHeart. Just look for Fox News Radio. And then from noon to 3, I'm in for Rob Carson on Newsmax Radio. Look at me.
1 and 2.
There we go. I'll be there from noon to 3, and that is on. I think that's on TuneIn, but also look for WCBM online. That is Rob's home station is WCBM, but that also airs nationwide. Usually in real time. There are some stations where it airs a little bit later, but please join me. Have a wonderful New Year. Monday, I will be on the Chris Salcedo show sometime between, it's usually 4:30 and 5 o'clock Eastern. And of course, I hope you join us on Tuesday for Life with Mary Walter. If you're especially new to us, if you heard me talking about it this week on all the radio shows, join us Life with Mary Walter right here, 7:15 Eastern on YouTube and Getter. And you can get the audio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can always go to YouTube and watch old episodes, watch old videos. We'd love to have you. And please like them. Please subscribe to the channel. We would really, really appreciate that. So Ed says, Happy New Year, guys. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much. Happy New Year's to you all. I cannot stress how much you guys mean to us, because without you, I don't think we would have made it this far.
Yeah, totally.
I think I would have thrown the talent on this a long time ago. But you're so interactive, and I just love that. And Jane, you can follow me on Twitter at Mary Walter Radio. James, what are you on Twitter?
Twitter, I'm oh god, we just did this last time too. And I'm
switch to Richard
on Twitter.
It's the number 2. Switch to Richard. It's Richard, ridiculous. Yeah. He's going to change it to James Rabick. Because
I actually do that. I know you say it. In the new year, I'm going to have a new Twitter handle.
Yes, please do, because every time I try to track you and tag you on something, I'm like, oh, what is it? And I got to stop what I'm doing, go to the search, find you, then copy and paste. So, James, you and Ringo and Rachel and everybody have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Okay. I will see you. I said Happy New Year. Absolutely. I will see you next week. Missouri Ozarks Vet says, awesome. Thank you so much. We love you all. And I just got to get this ready to go. Al, I hope you're not working too hard. And we'll see you in the new year. I can't believe 2023. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Bye, everybody.
I'll be here another night. Mayor Pete, where are you?